For every meeting I would hold or every year I would be, I always would mention I do not affiliate. Whatever meeting or whatever place I would find myself in, I do not affiliate. Because I didn't want people to attach me to things that have nothing to do with me. Much as ANC does not align with what I believe in. I was amazed and impressed by my Councillor Dino. The way...
Yeah. 7 8, we dey move. Every step. But if they touch the ground, I feel 730 kilometers. No be small thing, but we dey go from village to village, door to door. Waiting we carry a message.
Molweni Kaya, igama lami MK. It's another episode in Leadership Insight, and Kumbula, this year we are all about accountability, nje non-stop. We are on season 2, but here today sizophuma kancinci ehlelweni because on this episode I want us to get to know lo sisi uhlele eceleni kwami, Nomvuyo. She is i-chairperson yalapha eblokini yethu, block A eThokoza kuse-Ward 57. Alright mama.
Right, wena but
I'm okay. Ndiyayazi uba i-introduction endigqiboyinikeza ngoku ngawe ayiphelelanga or mhlawumbi andiscratchanga nje kwa isurface. So bengicela siyithathe from ekuzalweni kwakho, bangaba kahle kahle uSisivuyo ngubani, uzalelwe phi, and how you came about being this person onguye ngoku today.
okay, Usisivuyo, ne? Yes, because everyone refers to me as Usisivuyo, even nabantu abadala. Yeah, Usisivuyo. Mana full igama lami xa liphelele nguNomvuyo Tonga. Was born in Port St. John's, raised at Polabak.
Okay.
Because I think my father left, my parents left at Port St. John's. I was 2 years old. Then they bought a house in Extension 2. We lived there for a little while. Then we were at Tech. I'm very old. So during those times, kwakukho into zempi between Polabak and Nkatha. So ekhaya we were closest in that area, and my mother was involved in politics. So we were attacked, and my mother was shot. And then we were protected. They literally went to Extension 2 to go and fetch us and all our belongings.
Okay.
Ngelo xesha then we moved in. Safumana umkhukhu sahlala khona. Then that's how I became umuntu wasePolabak. Yes. And then it was very nice then. You know, we had little tight communities, certain areas, kubekho imkhukhu, then kubekho a middle part apho sasilala. We were very protected.
Okay.
So yeah, that's how I moved to Polabak. Then of course ndafunda eMzamo, benfunda eMzamo Primary School.
Okay.
And then from Mzamo, I went to high school. I did my grade 8 at Isetzong. Then from then on, I went to Blue Hills High. That's what it's now called, Blue Hills High. But then it was called St. Paul's College in Midrand. And then, high school, went to Christian High, Durban Girls High, and high school, and then ended up at Knowledge is Virtue Academy, which is where I did my matric. Then I went to Boston, got my diploma, then I taught accounting. There's a lot that I did.
Yeah.
So it's a very lengthy, if you were to call it, a very lengthy obituary. Yes, and then I've secured a few jobs there and there. For some stayed for a few years, but then I thought the working environment is not for me. And then I quit. I decided to just be involved in my community.
Okay.
And then I started doing everything for my community, down to finding jobs for the people in my area, making sure that we live in a safe area. I guess my focus mainly was in my block.
Okay.
Because I'm thinking this is not such a big block. I mean, I can manage this block. So, but as it grows, then people start recognizing, if you can help us with 1, 2, 3, if we have an issue with our houses, with I remember we had a meeting up at Blocking concerning indigent and
Yeah.
then they know about, okay, we can go to Sisivuyo to assist us. because I'm a community, or then Dabali committee, then Dabali chairperson in my committee, which I still am. Yeah, so that's how I'm here now as part of this community that I love very much. And then I joined a political party. I have never been part of any political party.
Yeah.
I need to first say that, ever. And people always assumed I belong to a certain political party. I've never affiliated. But I just, well, now I'm affiliating, and I'm actually the deputy chairperson in my block in the political party.
Nice one.
Yes. So, yeah, it's quite a lot of things that I've done and I'm still doing and I still plan to do.
Okay, nice one. You know what? Sizofika kule part where you get into politics, of which it is the main subject meeting here today.
Okay.
But let's reflect back to when you were working. You also volunteered Engekoi under SGB. Tell me about it. How was it? Siqale from basics. Talk about Engekoi, sisikole sinjani. Yabo. Like for whoever that's watching or ongayazi Engekoi, but uyayiva ngokuba ngabasithetha ngayo. Cela umphendele image.
Okay, so Ngcoini is one of my pride and joys. But I don't know why I didn't start with that one.
Okay.
But Ngcoini is a school that is very close to my heart because Ngcoini was established in Gonati Sisepolabaki under the duress and the regime in Doba. The focus might have been closer at that time, but Masbesi Tabandana Basepolabaki needed a place of education, iskolo. And then kwaya again. Then my involvement became in a sense that my father used to be SGPM Zam. So it came naturally that when I started enrolling my children in my firstborn in Ngcoini, I always had this thing. I went to private schools for high school. Ne?
Yes.
Very prestigious schools, to be exact, like in Blue Hills High. It's in a gated area, do you understand?
Okay.
So, but I always thought the things that abanazopa, we can also have them not. Nje, if you can dedicate your time, ufaki ixesha into a school, give it your all. A school can be just like no any other school. Like I want to make this example. In Ngcoini, it is a primary school. The first language in the foundation phase, which is grade R to grade 3, is Sislungu. It's English.
Okay.
Then moving forward, then you change, it becomes your file. Do you understand? That means your first language is closer from grade 4 moving upwards. Okay. Now, that has been taken care of by the management. Of course, it decided the previous SGB that was there before I was there, which is a great thing. Okay. Now, imsebenzi SGB is to make sure that the structure of a school is in top shape. You want people to come to work in a proper environment. It's in the middle of a squatter camp. It's surrounded by squatter camp. By every side you look at. On the other side, uzobona ngapha kwasesporo, kukwi train, namafem, but all the other surroundings is squatter camp.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that it needs to ifane nendawo kuyo, because siskolo. Ngcoini is a very beautiful school. We've won awards for the cleanest school, the most innovative. We have everything. We have top of the class library. Trust me, even if ungaya goes in private schools, if you think they have that one, abanai. We have a computer lab given by very generous Standard Bank. Everyone doesn't have very generous companies. Library was also given by, I forgot the name, but I'll tell you once I remember the name of the company that gifted library. But it didn't only give to Ngcoini. It's a program that they were giving to different schools. I can see it in my head, but I don't know. I cannot say the name.
No, ndiyakuva sisifuyo. Ndiyakuva. So let's take it down to executive yaseNgcoini. You've worked under ESGB njengoba sisitsho, and bewi secretary ne?
No, actually I was a treasurer.
Yes, bewuphatha imali.
Yes, Trevor Manuel. Do you remember Trevor Manuel? One of the ladies used to call me Trevor Manuel, which is Dr. Mamkopos. Oh, I love that lady, yes.
make sithethe nge-executive. I think njengoba si-introduce na these drinks, it's so that kuzophuma inyani zodwa. Yeah, masithethe nge-executive. How was i-experience yakho with i-executive yaseNgcochoyini primary school?
Whew, I think it was great, as I'm not going to lie. I think just being part of that SGB, I've been part of 2 consecutive kinds of SGB. Dabai, first, I was SGB for 6 years, right?
Yes.
So the first one, SGB runs for 3 years. Then I was selected again 3 years after. So the first 3 years, I was not treasurer. I was just a member of the SGB. Now, I like learning the ropes, understanding things.
Okay.
I don't like being just, part of something for the sake of being part of anything.
Okay.
Oh, no. Actually, on the last year of my first term as the SGB, which is the first 3 years, I was then chosen as deputy chairperson, which was our chairperson at that time, Yangu. Why is this name running away? But it was Young Mfundisi. Tatulengis.
Okay.
How can I forget Tatulengis?
I remember the same.
Yes, Tatulengis.
Yeah.
Very, very, love that person to bits. Ngutata Alwa, yes. So Ngutata Lengisi, our chairperson, Dabangu deputy for the last year, Ngosekuzo Ketwa the next year, the SGB. Then I was then selected Wapuma Kutatu Lengis because he had served 2 terms the SGB, so he couldn't then move on to the 3rd term. So, but I moved on because my term with him was 1 term. Then I moved on to the 2nd term. Then I was treasurer for 3 years. From year 1, Daketwa is a treasurer, and then for 3 years, Gengogo of that term, Ogondingo treasurer with SGB. Yeah, so that's how I was part of the executive. And I don't know, Leander, but the SGB works in a way that, like I said before, it takes care of everything else that happens at school. And of course, we don't take care of teaching. We're not teachers. We leave that up to professionals. We're not that team. Okay. We're the parents. We are chosen by the parents to represent them in those proceedings. And most of the things, including the hiring of teachers, those kinds of, not just the hiring in Ngcochoyini is... Mm-hmm. Well, is SGB, not just in all SGBs, it's done by SGB. All schools, actually, it's done by SGB. So, mhlawumbi, there'll be... but actually, the one thing I want to say, as much as there'll be SGB, yabona if intloko ifile, then there'll be a problem. Hey, I think I was very fortunate, or we were very fortunate, SGB. From the first time I was there, Notatulengisi, we never needed for anything. Principal waseNgcochoyini, which is Umaphoso, is the head, of course, which is the principal Maphoso, Sindiswa Maphoso. Great leader, that one. Okay. That lady.
Yeah.
Sometimes that I've come across where I'm like, oh gosh, I wish Umaphoso could come to the school and actually put things in shape. Tonga, she understands either hierarchy or she knows, but I need to assist us because we're not there sazi yonke into. Tina siyazifikela abantwana bethu bafike esikoleni, whatever the case, we don't understand ezinye izinto, but she was willing to teach us, to show us the ropes, and to actually let us shine at the same time. She didn't hog the spotlight to say, oh, ndimu makhonya. No, she worked with us. She did, according to me, she did everything right. And I'm sure a whole lot of SGBs can attest to that. Like I said, I learned a lot from her. Her leadership skills is actually some of the things that I'm employing even me as a chairperson in my block. I learned most of the things from her. As much as because at other jobs I was part of management and what, but Jonga, that time as the SGB taught me a lot. It opened up my eyes even to be able to go look for sponsorship. It's being SGB that taught me to go look for things, to find things. she put a lot of faith in me and all the SGBs that we are able to do things. The fact that she trusted us to get things done, I think is another thing that motivated us. The children, the look on the children when they receive things, the look on the teachers when they are happy to be getting, even if it's a trip or something, do you understand?
Yes.
To recognize their hard work, because sometimes I feel if you don't recognize people's work, ne, they tend to be despondent. But siyasebenza nje. But Jonga, I don't want to call her a drill sergeant. I want to call her, and that's the perfect term to call a principal wasengcukhweni, which I wish that a lot of people can learn to her. Sometimes abanye abantu, they see into she's expecting this from us, not knowing toba. I used to work at New Debt, ne? I'm sorry, I just need to put this in. I want to show you something. I used to work in New Debt. And New Debt, it was a place where we thought, apa siya abuswa, siya tuan. But you know what I've learned from that company, New Debt, is that it created a person in me who was able to take anything. It was a piece, it was just nje. While people were complaining, New Debt is a call center. That place taught me a lot. It's the same thing that I've learned. Sometimes we do not appreciate the things that are instilled in us because as is born as a torture. Up until you leave that space, then you realize these people were instilling something in me. Do you understand?
Yeah,
Something that I'm going to use in future. Something that's going to benefit me for life. So what New Debt taught me, going to workplace, the other places that I worked for, right, it's something that I can never forget the skills that they've taught me. It's what keeps me employable, even though I'm not looking for a job. New Debt kept me employable because they gave me standards. They also gave me bandiphe ngesiXhosa, ndifuna uyibiza ngesiXhosa ke le nto abandinike yona, kuthiwa yintoni, where you are able to ukwazi uvuka ekuseni awugive up and ndiqale ndifuna uyibeka ngesiXhosa, sisilungu eso.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
So they gave me that. And then that's what I also realized with uPrincipal wasengcukhweni. She expected consistency. She expected people to show up. And that's what we did. And she was not afraid to applaud you. Do you understand? To say, great job. Even with us SGB, she was a motivator.
Yeah,
That's why
yeah.
we worked that hard for that school. Do you understand? As the SGB. Now, I wish everyone could follow suit. I mean, I don't know what other people are doing. I'm just saying, from the other spaces that I've been in, I always said, I wish she could come here, but unfortunately, she cannot.
How long has she been a principal?
Since 2005.
Since 2005, because I want to say, mna nifike apha eRhawutini 2009, okay, 2010 January, yabo. So my younger sister bekafunda phayana eNgcokhweni, like eLasbon yasekhaya, of which uzograduate apha kuMarch or April, I'm not sure about the dates, uzograduate from Evets. So I wanted to actually reference ukuthi, like watching her grow from ukumfikela eyenza grade 3, grade 4 up until ayophuma eNgcokhweni, discipline anayo ngezinto zesikolo nje, about izinto ezininzi. I can actually attest to izinto ozitshoyo ngayo principal ukuba ngaba ungumuntu onjani and stuff. And I can say uba ngaba iNgcokhweni is one of the schools apha eKuruleni as producer ama-vet students.
That's
Yabo?
true.
Not any student can get into vets.
That's true.
Yabo? But iNgcokhweni guaranteed anyone, okay, let me not say anyone, but umntwana obuye eNgcokhweni, like there's very high chances zokuthi uzongena evets. Be it ke mayiphuma eNgcokhweni waya kuleyo high school aye kuyo that I don't know, but uzongena phayana, because I think bonke mana abantwana endibaziyo that are from vets baphuma eNgcokhweni, like all of them, and thanks to my sister ngale information leyo, but baphuma eNgcokhweni. So I actually applaud man umsebenzi wakhe, and I appreciate kakhulu ukuthi ku-conversation yethu we've actually touched base na kwi-leadership yakhe. Yabo. So tell me, kuyo yonke the moment that seemed to be a cruise where you can learn as much as you are giving, you you went into politics.
That's true.
Kambani, let's reflect back to the day or the moment where you are taking a decision. Okay, now I am going for politics.
Before we get into that, I just remember there was a name that I couldn't. It's Imperial. Remember the company that gave us
Library?
library?
Okay,
Yes, it's
yeah,
Imperial.
yeah.
But I think it changed to something else. I don't remember. But once I remember, I'll also mention.
DB,
Yes,
DB something.
Yes, that one. But
Yeah.
Imperial. So
Yeah.
kudos to them.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
If ever we knew basically we are going to talk about these companies, I bet Beso is researching us. But at least whoever that wants to follow suit game research, unayo man ndawo
Yes.
zawuqala kuyo.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
Okay.
So yes, so you were saying that the jump to politics. Yabona, ne, let me start here. I grew up with a mother and a father who were seriously political. Ne?
Okay.
I remember Sisi Zepola back at some point. I don't know if I've mentioned this before. Ekaya, my mother was ANC. And then, of course, as well as my father still is. My father's a staunch member of ANC. So my mother was, my mother was short. I don't know if I've mentioned this. I could be repeating it. But my mother was short, then Saze Polapaki. And then, but because she was such a serious, she might not be right now, but I don't think she's anything else because she's a born-again Christian.
Okay.
She probably doesn't like mixing the two, or she's more Sindisi Umamam. No, like, yeah, do you understand?
Yeah, okay.
But my father, on the other hand, he is a staunch member of ANC. But, so not that I didn't know politics much, ne? I grew up with a father who always said, everything must be a debate, okay? Ndikhule debate esikolweni. And from Mzamo to all the other schools I went to thereafter. And politics for me is what you believe in currently at that time. I can tell you this much. Almost everyone who's a politician didn't study political science. The political science people are analyzing politics. And I'm not here to analyze politics. I joined a political party that aligns with my beliefs. Abantu bazothi no, but ubuyi ANC. I was never ANC.
Okay.
Never.
Like you mean awuzange wabani membership at all?
I've heard that apparently I was a member, ne?
Yeah.
But let me tell you something. Someone must say, oh, Vuyo, wandandizile sakusainisa, you signed here. Let's look at, if you could check my signature. No. Yes, there's this thing that happens, right? Where was our team? Yes, but you're very active, ne? In whatever sphere that you're in. It's not like abantu bebengazi, but I'm a very active person. And I get things done. I research, I find things. Oh, if there's one thing I'm good at, is finding out information, is getting information that especially assist a community, is making sure that we get a fair deal on anything. Do you understand? Okay. And then with an understanding, yentoba, sometimes abantu asihlala nabo abazazi ezinye izinto, they don't even know which doors to knock on. So people tend to affiliate you, whether you know it or not. They tend to do that. Because of the fact is, they have my details. A lot of people have my details. And then Vuyo, sense in tonton. Okay, I could have baliswa in tonton zetus balsi ID numbers and whatnot. But people, for every meeting, people can attest. They will tell you. For every meeting I would hold or every year I would be, I always would mention, I do not affiliate. I have never affiliated. Angabe umuntu avele ngoku azothi uvuyo wawuthe wena meeting ethile sivotele ANC or EFF or when you are affiliate. People nabantu be-community ambandazi. First thing I say, andicanvasi, I do not affiliate. I even said that at some funeral at some point, and that yabona nina abantu bangamakholwa niyafana ne-politicians. Apho kukho ingxaki khona nivele nifike senisithi uThixo uyakuthanda, uYesu uyakuthanda kwatsha kwacima, and then you forget about elanxeba lalamntu uswelekileyo. Anohlukanga kwi-politicians ezifike zithi The ANC will do 1, 2, 3 for you, or EFF can do this, or EPA, or in Tonton, any other political party. And I'm not about that life, because
Yeah,
I've seen it
yeah.
happen numerous times. And I've always mentioned, whatever meeting or whatever place I would find myself in, I do not affiliate, because I didn't want people to attach me to things that have nothing to do with me. Now I'm affiliating. That's the difference. Ngoku ndi-PA member.
I still say, let's go back to that moment where you decide upon, okay, now I'm taking this decision.
To be okay.
Yeah.
So, it so happened that someone said to me, and for years, people have been saying this to me, yazi Vuyo, intle le nto yenzayo. But have you noticed, biphelele kule ndawo? At first I didn't see it. Then I realized, banyanisile. Sometimes what I say or what I want to do does not go further than what it should. Do you understand?
Yes.
Ayiqhubeki, man. I cannot, there's other doors that I'm unable to knock in. And we cannot run away from the fact that our country or the world or whatever it is, political. Yonke into iza ngepolitiki. If you want to get this door, bafuna ukwazi uba usuka kweyiphi people. Xa ndisithi no, do not affiliate, abantu abandimameli. Unfortunately, that's what I've come across. And then I couldn't rush into saying, okay, because my father is ANC or my parents have grown up with ANC, Manvel, I had to do my homework. Do you understand?
Yes.
Apart from the norm or what I know, man kandenze homework yam. Like mna ekhaya, my father usikhulise nge-freedom of speech. Yazi abanye abantu bangacinga uba yinto entsha. Thina ekhaya we grew up, utata bezithi xa eza kubetha athi qala undixelele, why must I not hit you? Lay your case, put your case down. Ndichazele, abelibeke apha ibhanti. Umoshile mntanam, but give me reasons to not hit you. And then there are times apho I've actually gotten away from ukubetha because I argued a proper case with my father. Do you understand? Ekhaya we affiliate, my father supports whatever we do. Like I said, yabona xa ungabuza ngaye mhlambe Queenstown nalapha eGauteng. He's popular in his areas in Shem. Yabo kwezo ndawo uyazi uMadiba. Do you understand? Okay. Nathi sikhule singabantwana bakaMadiba. He's always worked for the community. I guess I take that from my parents. So now uthe naxa efika naseQueenstown, he still worked for the community. He is that type of person. He gets information, he gets things done. I guess I also, like I said, I take from my father. Now, my brother, EFF, is not member, started in varsity. My brother was helped by EFF when he couldn't get a school. I'm not in the business of bashing people, especially when they do certain things as a right. Do you see, ba? I got great. My parents were given a house by ANC. My brother was fumani isikolo 3 years. Wafika walala ku pavement waphumelele eyofunda eForte. He came with his honors, wapumene honors. Okay, he was a brilliant student because he had a bursary, but ngeke yayibursary, kakhola bursary ya GCR and sayikumulia. It didn't pay for that year, but wathatha imali, the little money we had, GCRA, yes, that one.
Yeah,
it didn't pay that first year.
Okay.
EFF made sure buyangena esikolweni by fire, by force. Do you understand? I'm not in the business of bashing people. You need to give people flowers, while, especially if they've done something good. But that doesn't mean that EFF aligns with what I believe in.
Okay.
As much as ANC does not align with what I believe in. Maybe at some point they did, I don't know. Maybe that time ndangeka biko or ndangeka cool. Currently, no, they don't. Do you understand? PA. Nakhona, I'm going to say, the person didn't come to convince me, but damn it, I was amazed and impressed by my Councillor Dino. The way he handles himself, the way like, I could see, there was a time when I was in a meeting with him. I've been in meetings with different councillors prior, ne? Okay. But yabona xa ndithetha nomntu mna, I feel challenged. I feel this person hears what I'm saying. Then that's who I need to be in the presence of. Do you understand? Because this a person understand. Andimfuni nomntu ongayazi into athetha ngayo. Rather uthi kandiyazi, let me go and find out, than uphendula into ongayaziyo. Do you understand? And I also understand people cannot know everything. People are not encyclopedias. But you know, when I met him the first time, then I started following him. I went to every meeting he was in. As much as even with ANC, I went to every meeting all my councillors that previously they were in, because I was trying to learn. And I was realizing this does not, if the people we need to learn from is the people in the ground. I cannot learn from a president or Pangamazbeza decisions that he comes up with uztatatu. Do you understand?
Yes,
I'm not going
yes.
to lie and say I learn from Gaten. I don't know Gaten. Ndazi ukansela Dino. Because I attend his meetings, he attends to my problems that yabona lo mna naye ncamashi. We are for the same goal, and this is the path I'm going to take. So mhlawumbe omnye umuntu uzobuza, yo, what if uyayeka ukuba ikhansela, then what?
Of which I'm coming to that as well. But since it seems as if mhlawumbe he's the reason why you've joined politics or PA per se, like indlela yena alida ngayo, what if he then resigns from EPA, maybe ayosebenza elsewhere?
Ayeke ukuba
Kwenye
i-PA.
political party,
Kwenye political party, ayibe
are you
DA.
going to join him? Because I wanna ufuna ukukhangela distinction between, like, a good decision yakho, but was it based on solely his leadership or his leadership under the party? Because you didn't just follow Mr. Dino, you joined
The whole party.
the whole party.
Not just him.
Yeah.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a good question. I'll tell you something. I'm this type of person. Like, remember I said my mother's a born-again Christian? Okay. So when my mother prays, ne, umamam uthi, ndithandaza kuThixo kaMeshach noShadrach no Abednego, ndithandaza uThixo kaAbraham, ne. Do you know who I pray to? The God of my mother. Because I've seen that God doing miracles. Andimazi uThixo kaShadrach noMeshach. Yena uyamazi. Mna I believe in her God. Because I've seen, there was one time, I was sick. This will sound like enye into. Kukho ubhuti apha kuthiwa simbiza ngobhuti Sibele. He's quite old now.
Okay.
But simbiza ngobhuti Sibele. Andazi noba abanye abantu. Forget what abanye abantu might think about a person. Let's talk about izinto ezikude umuntu azenzile ezi-right. That mna I know of. Everyone feels a certain person wenza into ezi-wrong somewhere. Now, let me make a... ndifuna ubuyela kulaa nto kacounselor why what happens if you were to leave. Now, when what's this? Uzbele and my mother would pray for me. They would say, bathandaze, bathandaze, bathandaze. I remember ndandiphuma igazi ngendlebe. Bandithandazela Loma. Like, I was like, wow. You understand? I was
Yeah,
like,
okay.
wow. I don't know what was wrong with me at that time.
Yeah,
Ne? But
yeah.
something that also made my ears bleed. Ne? But doctors would explain what caused that. Mhlawumbe ndandine-infection or something. Ne? Because I remember when I went to the doctor, I got an infection. But at that moment, they prayed, Loma igazi. They believed in it so much. Loma. And then when I prayed, mna, because kala ndimazi lo Thixo kaMeshach noShadrach no ban omnye no Abraham,
Yeah,
Thixo,
yeah.
ndazi uThixo kaNothembile, who is my mother, who does miracles. So, ndazi iPA kaCouncillor Dino. Do you understand? Because yena, he stood for it. Now, if my mother was to go ngoku athi hayi mna ndimyekile laa Thixo mntanam, but ndandimbonile senza miracles laa Thixo wakhe. Do you understand? She will leave alone because I've seen that God wayemthandaza endomisa igazi ezindlebeni. I've seen that PA that he once stood for if he were to decide to leave. I've seen the wonders that because naye he could not have done those things. I would not have known Udino had it not be because he was a councillor, a PA. That's, he made me believe in it. But that doesn't mean that once he leaves, I'm going to stop believing because I've seen wonders. Do you get my point?
I do. Okay, I do.
Yes.
I think diphendulekile.
Thank you.
I think diphendulekile. Inkulu mani decision oyithathileyo, especially when you are...
Let me just put this down. Sorry.
Okay. Especially when you are even mentioning bangaba you grew up under leadership ye ANC ekhaya. Yabo. I want to say that you are groomed by ANC because parents zakho were strong members of ANC. yabo, you were groomed by ANC. Do you not think ukuthi either members of the ANC, especially the community yakho or ward yakho, or even your family, they're going to feel like you are betraying them or you are betraying the party by being groomed, knowing everything about the ANC, obviously from the experience on Endlin and everything that your father is teaching you, and then you are then joining an opposing party. Like, is it not mhlambe indlela or a way where one will think ukuba ngaba everything that you know bangaba kuyi weakness ye ANC, you are going to use it kwi-PA against the ANC?
Yes, that's a great one. Groomed by ANC. No, I was groomed by my father, not ANC.
Who's a member ye ANC?
Yeah, that's great. I understand. No, but my father's a very educated person.
Okay.
My father didn't think that I was ever going to be ANC.
Yeah,
Nanga
ANC.
kuxela kulaa ndawo ahleli kuyo.
Yeah.
Because besithi xa sithetha, I remember a few years ago, we were talking about his choice of political party. My brother was trying to convince us to join his political party. He saw the point, ne? But because ungulamta nguye, akalowequ tatam. Because he's who he is. He said, if bona they don't fix the ANC on the inside by whatever, he said stuff about ANC. Ukhumbula unyanisile, I grew up under the ANC ban and don't. Not that my parents were active, they just understood the policies and they were not actively political members. Do you understand?
Okay.
They were actively community leaders. My father, not my mother. My mother at some point carried a gun. And then she's now a serious born again Christian. Yes. My father has never carried a gun. I don't think he's ever touched a gun in his life. My father never smoked, never did anything. But I think because utatam he's 5 years old, so ukhule ngela xesha kwakukho uprising nentontoni. So it was either ANC and nothing else. So there was no way he could have affiliated to anything else. And utatam is a loyal person to that political party. I don't know other spheres, but he's very loyal to his political party. And Yena, he always says, find what works for you. Like I said, my father believes in, if that's what you believe in, my child, that's what I will support. He was never groomed by ANC. As much as in City he's a staunch member by ANC, that doesn't mean that he taught us politics. He was a father who taught us to debate our way out of a hiding.
You are very confident about indlela that your family takes a decision yakho yokujoin a political party. Let's drive to a community and everyone that okhule naye, okhule ekwazi and all of that. Now, bazofumana indaba zokuba ngaba you've joined any political party and you are assisting in making sure bangabe thrive on a political party. Obviously, they're going to feel betrayed. In a way, even though it does not personally affect them. I wouldn't know if politics affects people personally now or what, but then I wouldn't know. But for the fact that one would feel bangaba you've betrayed them or you've betrayed the party or you've betrayed expectations towards when and all of that. Come on, what is your thought around that?
They must come join me. Why would they feel betrayed? I've never affiliated to anyone. I mean, hello. If you think I'm doing great, if you know that I'm capable, if you know that I make good decisions, that means I've also made a great decision. If you know me very well, you know I don't make stupid decisions. I don't take things lightly. Do you understand? So how would people feel betrayed by me joining? What did they want me to join? Maybe ANC, maybe EFF? And I'm not a follower, Anje, just because everyone's doing something I must do. No, I'm not. I do not succumb to peer pressure. I join what I believe in. And if you think I've always made great decisions, I mean, come join me.
Okay.
Come join my decisions. Hello.
Yay. Inzima. No, ndiyagova.
Wait, before you quick.
Yeah.
Yes, this bothers me. How would people feel betrayed by me joining? I've never joined anything. That's what worries me. But why would people feel? It is a possibility. But those who would feel betrayed, those who affiliate to certain political parties already, who thought they could either use me to get their point ahead. They would invite me to things, knowing very well I've never said I affiliated. I always said I do not affiliate. Those who would feel betrayed is because they didn't have a chance to convince me. They thought they had me because because umamakhe utatakhe, the parents got a house RDP. They were helped by Paula Bag. I think people need to redo and relook at the way things are happening.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not in the business of bashing political partism. I think everyone has done great somewhere, and most political. So if I were to choose Nzoketa, my brother got into university because of EFF. My parents got a house, RDP, because of the ANC. Do you understand into ezinjalo? And ukhumbule, there were not many political parties at that time when ANC was making sure that we are getting all these houses. Do you understand? Sasuga apartheid then.
Yeah.
Then we moved into this house. But can I ask you something? What has these political parties done for me? I bought my house. I live in my own house that I bought. EFF didn't take me to school, or whatever you think that they did. They didn't do it for me. Not Tembile, no Zolile, who are my parents, got a house, I'm assuming, but because they were entitled to it, they were living in a squatter camp at some point. Whether you were ANC or not, you were going to get that house. Do you understand?
Yes.
Because ubuhlala kwi-squatter camp, whether you were IFP, don't, you were entitled to it. When the EFF was fighting for Abantwana Esikolweni, my brother knew nothing about politics. He joined because EFF, it's what works for him. He liked what they were doing. I joined EPA, it's because it's what aligns with my beliefs.
Okay.
And the fact that councillor does what I like as well. Jonga, yabona that council, Peterson Dino, I'm very impressed with the way he does things. I'm very happy with him. So I joined. Maybe it because of him, but not mainly. And because I think I also have an opportunity to make a difference there. Do you understand? Within my community. Right now, my priority is my community. I'm not looking to go be a president, DPA.
Okay.
Do you understand? I'm prioritizing my community right now. My community, which is Ward 57, which is Thokoza.
Nice one.
Yes.
Nice one. Your decision to actually join a political party or to actually join politics as a whole, you've automatically placed yourself into a war zone or a battleground, where like we watch politics every day. It's always maybe whatever oyichoyo, someone will want to interpret it ngendlela yena azoyiva ngayo, so that izosuthi ego yakhe azokwazi ukutsho loo nto leyo afuna ukuyitsho, to either build image yakho or to destroy it. Yabo? I'm going to talk about the people that or I'm going to talk about the times where people will actually want to destroy you, because I've actually followed the politics in a way, so I know abantu bane tendency of yokuthatha into ongayichongo bayenza ngathi uyichilo, so
true.
that izobhasa whatever point abacinga babanayo ngawe. Yabo? Okufika kwami apha eGauteng, eWard 57 bekuphethe ANC. Any political party that was trying vele dispute indaba ye-ANC was EDA. It was never a patriotic alliance. Beku-EDA. Awujoyinanga EDA. I'm coming there, yes. Awujoyinanga EDA. Instead, you've joined a patriotic alliance, of which kube or party be exist for a number of years. I don't even know when it was established. Of which be party be exist for a number of years. But talking about Ward 57 alone, it then comes as a newborn baby.
Yes.
When something comes as a newborn baby, everyone une power yokupora influence yakhe ngendlela mhlambe afuna ngayo. Yabo? Do you not think mhlambe kuba ngaba one will say you saw an opportunity kwi-PA because iyafika and i-structure sayo asikakafomeki ngaleyo ndlela leyo. And then wabona ukuthi you know what, because I know there's so many members ze-EFF, there's so many members ze-DA, there's so many members ze-ANC. Even if you can join and you can join the ANC, kuyokuthatha iminyaka if it's even going to happen for you to be actually recognized as executive maybe kuleyo political party, be it you are a ward committee member or maybe you are representing a region or something, but for you to actually get a profile as I'll be saying, obviously it's going to take you years, because I know there's people who've been members of the ANC like and Kumbuli even from when, but to this day they are still followers, and uyabona ukuthi shame umuntu yazama ukucampaign for a position but then it's not happening. So the competition is very tight kula amanye ama-politics, and then comes the PA. Even if competition ikhona, people are very few. So ke ngoku into esebenzayo is who's got the influence the community more than omnye, of which now you are winning because you've won a community yakho. That is your strategy vele politics. That is your strategy vele politics, because the only way for you to actually get into these positions, abantu becinga fan, abantu abathatha mhlawumbe ngokuba you are an opportunist, ngokuba mhlawumbe ujongene nazo, it is for you to actually do the work, and then when you are doing the work you will then win the hearts of your community. Because abanye abantu they've actually learned ukuthi you will win the hearts of your community through telling them lies and empty promises, and then unga-deliver. When you started by delivering qala, and then when people saw ukuthi okay, now she can deliver this person, be it unayo base or akanayo, and then waqala ke ngoku wayezifunela ibase. But ekuzifuneleni kwakho ibase, you found where you know bangaba okay apha ngizokhula fast other than any political party. What is your take on that one? Because obviously one will label you as an opportunist. The opportunist, that is why she chose to actually leave us bangaba ushiye a political party, of which I don't know. I've heard, man, there's a thing with you Nesanka, but we're going to come to that. We're going to come to the Sanko.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
We're going to come to that. But for now, I want to stick to the part where people will paint you as
an opportunist
or an opportunist.
Oof, that is a very smart question. I don't.
It's
a very, very smart, very broad question. Okay.
Yeah.
First of all, understand is a dengem. I was never isibank. Ne? Man, if those people are seeing that their efforts are not being recognized or not working, why are they still there? Do you understand?
Yeah.
I didn't know of any opportunities, PA. I don't know of any opportunities that maybe they might think of. I know of opportunities that I want for my area.
Welcome back, Bafethu. Nisahleli no Sisifuyo.
Thank you.
Yeah, we are still on Leadership Insight, Season 2, guys. Theme yethu it's accountability. It's not like we are accounting, but theme yethu. But somehow kukhona pa account corner. But I want you to listen carefully kwaye ufunde something. Sisifuyo.
Yes.
With everything esithethe ngayo, nge-resources ezikhona e-Ward 53 ezingekhoyo e-Ward 57, ne-platforms mhlawumbe andazi banza benisebenzisa igama eli-right for by-development bekhona or i-employment create-ke. You've mentioned ke ngendlela abantu base-Ward 57 abadisciplined ngayo when it comes to i-infrastructure yabo and stuff, because obviously issues esizifesayo mostly nge-infrastructure up e-Ward 57 akusizi izinto esizidamajileyo thina.
Yes, that's true.
Izinto ezifana nama-drain, izinto ezifana nemibane and all of that, of which ke leyo ingxaki ye-population, of which I take it uba ngaba i-challenge yayo nayiphi na i-political party kuba ngaba endaweni eseyidevelophe for uba may-accommodate maybe 70,000 people, there is now maybe 500 and something thousand people living kuleyo ndawo leyo, and the infrastructure is prepared for 70,000 people. So ke ngoku zonke izinto seziya overflow kuyiloo nto leyo. I hope there's a system eniza nayo.
You know, like I said prior, contingencies, yes, when Leander.
Yeah.
Sometimes a problem arise when we expect urhulumente to do everything for us.
Yeah.
With them.
Okay.
Sometimes we need to be a solution-based community and actually give solutions for our problems to the people who are someone to help us. Because bona bazozana a solution that is not conducive to us. Engazusinceda. For instance, like I said, we had an issue apha if uyakhumbula le nto bendike ndathetha ngayo ye-automate ye-indigent ne.
Yes.
I-issue yethu kakuhle we were being overbilled sihlala ezindlini ze-RDP ngenxa yoba kaloku kukho laa nto ekuthiwa yi-desktop bahlale phaa bathi laa ndlu yakuloo Liyanda or laa ndlu kaVuyo or phaa kuloo Thozama ndizawuthi yi-700,000 bayikhe ntloko. It's desktop evaluation, that's what it's called. Laa nto ke ngoku the minute indlu yakho iba yi-700,000, what then happens is kusho ukuthi wena your rates zikamasipala ziyenyuka because your house is worth a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
That means ke awusaqualify for nezaa zinto zamahala. Uyazibona ukufumana amanzi mahala, uyazibona into ezinjalo ezomntu othi ehlala endlini ye-RDP. You understand?
Yes,
Indlu yomchazo.
yes.
So ngoku because bavele bahlala bathi le yi-500,000 le yayi-200,000 le yayi-700,000 uthi uyafika kule ndlu abathi yi-700,000 ye wena ayohlulwanga le ndlu isengalaa ndlela wayemnika. In fact say worse than what the person indlela wayenikwe ngayo kodwa ivalue yayo ithi 700,000. So that value is that high for money that you will never get even if you were to sell the house. Iyenza indlu yakho iyenza ube ne-rates ezi-high, yenza izinto ezininzi ungakwazi uzifumana because you're someone to pay for them. Do you understand? So kwafuneka ke ngosithini sithi okay nansi solution ke masipala, we are going to change sizo requesta, which is there was a portal where you can actually uyofaka kuba no indlu yami is not worth 700,000 ndicinga uba indlu yami mna is worth 200,000 sendenza umzekelo. Then ke ngoku senza we had a meeting sayenza sonke loo nto leyo. Then when izindlu zethu zaba under 500,000 this means ke ngoku we qualify for an automated indigent. Funeka kube khona amanzi esiwafumanayo. Yabo, we didn't go back to them to say cela nisifake under automated indigent. We took an initiative. We said okay, masihlaleni phansi, let's decrease the value of our houses because our houses are not worth this much and we are being billed huge amounts of money because kuthiwa thina sihlala eSky City kodwa sihlala ePolar Park, kuthiwa thina sihlala eLeopards Rest. Our houses are worth the same amount of money as houses zaseLeopards Rest kodwa sisePolar Park, and if I were to sell it I would never be able to get that money. Yebo. Le nto le laa nto ihlupha naphi. Say umamakho akasekho, you want to take over umamakho, now you are taking over le ndlu, nifuna ukwenza i-letter of authority ne, for whatever reason you want to take over a few things that you need to take care of. If the house is worth more than 350,000, so udinga i-letter of executorship, you don't get it at court, a lawyer must draw that up for you. Do you have money to do that? Because the desktop evaluation inyuse ivalue yendlu yakho eyenza ungasaqualify even for to get something free and simple as a letter of authority. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So those are things that the government or the municipalities are unaware of. So it's things that we need to then take back to them to say, we've sorted this out, now put us there.
Okay. But you know, ekugqabukeni kwam izindlu ze government like your RDP houses such as this one bezingathengiswa. So the system creator eventually, that's where ke ngoku sekumele siyenze lama indigent tonto nothetha ngazo. Was it created for it damage control or kwenzeka ntoni? Because nam I grew up knowing ukuba ngabe izindlu ze-government awuzithengisi. Xa sowugrand ukuhlala kuyo or mhlawumbi elifini sowuphumelele, you take it back to i-government so that izonikeza omnye umntu mahala. That's what I grew up knowing.
I think that was a notion we maybe all had. I don't think that was ever true. ne?
Yeah.
I doubt that was ever true.
was ever true,
No.
ne?
We just assumed, see, Piwelen, why would I sell it? I must either pay it forward. And it's okay, ulianda umtanam or umchana or ubanban. Akanandlu naye mna ngoku, I don't need this house. I'm moving to a better house. That's what we thought. That has never been true. Ne? And another thing, these houses zonke awuvele uyifumane ngoku, and then emveni koko after unyaka or iminyaka emibini uyithengise. No, there's izikhona into ezibekiwe, imiqathango ebekiwe ba maybe after 5 or 10 years, after this and after that. Do you understand?
Okay.
Sometimes I'm not just talking about selling a house. Mna tindenza umzekelo. Like I said, say your mother, God forbid, passes away. Ne? Now you want to take ndenza umzekelo yazi ngantoni ngendlu lapha phambi kokokwini ecaleni kokokwini. Now say that child utata umakhulu wakhe wasweleka, kwasweleka notatakhe kusele umzukulwane, ne? Say this child now ufuna ukuthatha le ndlu ayibhalise ngaye umzukulwana ngoku now wants to take over le ndlu kamakhulu wakhe because the grandmother passed away notata wasweleka kusele yena ngoku. Akakwazi ngoku kuyithatha ibe segameni lakhe because the fees are very expensive. It's very expensive to do so because le ndlu evaluated kwathiwa yi-1,000,000 rand, even though le ndlu is worth 250,000. Xa sesiya ngoku eyofuna ukutshintsha le ndlu funeka ye-deeds office, funeka emagqwetheni, athi amagqwetha no, to change le ndlu besegameni lakho we'll do all the processes and whatnot, but it's going to be 150,000. Uyayibona into ezinjalo?
Yeah.
Le nto bendibuyela kuyo ndithi you can't even take a letter of authority yale ndlu because it's worth 1,000,000 rand. You now need a letter. It's not just guarding you xa ufuna uthengisa indlu. No, nje in general. The reason ndithetha ngomzukulwane that's going to inherit indlu kamakhulu or kabanibani because kaloku umakhulu mhlambe unodadewabo ozothi ngudadewethu lo ndiyayithatha indlu kadadewethu.
Yeah.
Do you get my point?
Yeah.
And then umzukulwane sale engenandawo kuhlala because udadewabo uthathe indlu kamakhulu wakhe, which he had the right to inherit, but because of the fact that even if uyafuna the red tape that goes into him uzokwenza mhlambi a letter of executorship leyo or a letter of authority umzukulwane, but in bubuzukuzuku, when will this person or where will this person ever get 150,000 to do ukutshintsha kwendlu?
Sure.
Or 70, I don't know, this is just at the top of my head, 70,000 rands
Yeah.
to change into 1,000,000.
I think we should actually do an episode specifically for lento yezindlu le because there's a lot that we don't understand. Because now I always thought ukuthi mhlawumbe indlu ebhaliswe ngumamam xa etshona njengonyana omdala it's obviously izinto zizoza kum lula nje. There won't be need yokuba kube nama-lawyers and everything as if mhlawumbe si-stranger or intontoni yonke lento le.
Yeah, it's Yona, you
Sure.
think it should happen like that, but no, it doesn't.
Yeah, kunzima. Kunzima. Let's come back to A Block A.
Yes.
Yeah, let's come back to A Block A because I remember earlier before we go to ad break, we were talking of ama disadvantages and ama opportunities
Yes, that we have.
now. Yabo? Now I know one of the major issues that leadership is facing, especially when we are trying to fight nendaba ye unemployment, community development, community. You'd find that you take a young person, you enroll them a college or you assist them to enroll a college, and then niyabancedisa ukufumana your bursaries, your NSFAS and all of that. Yabona? Or you take a young person, kune project eyenziwayo yomsebenzi, umfunela kuleya project leya, uyangena uyasebenza. Yabo? And then, or let me still say or you take a young person, umsa maybe kuleyo development ethile ngaleyo passion yakhe ayithandayo. Yabo? They get there, lo omse esikolweni, she gets access, uyafunda. Lo omse emsebenzini uyisayinile i-contract ukuthi I'm employed. Lo omse to that program usayinile kula program ukuthi okay now I'm enrolling under this program. yabo. Now you find that lo omse esikolweni xa kuphuma imali ye-NSFAS ukhupha imali akasabuyeli esikolweni. Now back to square one. Wena as inkokheli you fought for this person bangaba makabe ne-access yokungena esikolweni. Uyangena esikolweni uyazifumana i-means that are going to support them esikolweni. But bona they decide ukuba ngabali bale NSFAS le, I think this is the only thing that I've been looking for.
Bendifuna yona.
Yeah, bayeke kwa isikolo banxila imali kube lonto leyo. Now you go to another young person oya wam-organizela umsebenzi, wafumana umsebenzi waseva analeyo construction or whatever that's happening. Uyaqashwa ukuhola kwakhe the following day akasabuyeli esikolweni. If ever maybe it's going to be a project ezawuthatha maybe your 3 weeks, your 4 weeks, your 6 weeks, your whatever, then bahola either nge-fortnight or
ngeveki, and then
ukuhola kwakhe akasabuyeli at all. Yabo. And then it's that young person omthathe wamsa kuleya program eyenziwa, let's say program yebhola. Xa befika paphayana they misbehave, bangene ema-drugsini, banxile kuplay lonto leyo. How do we, is there, okay, let me not even say how do we, as if mhlawumbe isikhona i-strategy that is in place for izinto ezinjalo, but then is there a plan, is there a way yokufayitha nayo le nto le? Because in Xhosa I feel like sibilisa inkobe, like izixhenza apha, yeah, izixhenza endaweni enye, like akuna any development yabo. Because you'd find even the very same person that's complaining about your unemployment, it's the very same person mhlawumbe uye wafonelwa wathi yena no mna andiwenzi this type of a job, I'm looking for this type of a job, of which nalapho they are right, but then still
they know
the
their
employment eveleleyo ngexesha. How, like, kwenzeka ntoni guys? Is khona i-strategy, ikhona i-plan where you guys maybe are going to actually talk to us, convince us, make us see ukuba ngaba ngoku this is the way?
You know, I don't know if there's a strategy or there's a plan. I think this comes back down to individuals. This comes down to zindums again. Ne? I have had, I remember as an SGP Ncochoyini, we would have programs as into the teacher assistants and whatnot. Yazi.
Yeah.
I used to sit outside with my brother Wapumelel. People would say, oh, Tina sina internet and that doesn't tell us any laptop yako. I'll bring my laptop. Ndicela principal, ndicela usiboleke laptop. Sizohlala apha outside the school, not even inside. Asiziphazamisa school. I'm going to bring a router yam. Ndize ne-router yam as a pocket router. Ndifake i-SIM card yam. I used to put in my rain SIM card. Sihlale ngaphandle. Sincedise everyone to apply. Uthi sawuyenzile loo nto leyo. Xa befowunelwa baphendula ifowuni abantwana. Now it's time for them to come for interviews. Anditsho, for whatever reason. Abaphendula phones. Or abanye, if azothumtu, if they even write on their statuses, WhatsApp only, don't answer calls. Like,
Okay.
So this, and into that, I don't want to lie. I've been very fortunate. And I always, I would put my number as the second option. Did you number yam as a second option? The second number. But how many times can I do that? How many people can actually because let me tell you, abantwana bethu, I'm going to count me in because now I'm a parent to these children. They are very despondent. Sometimes abakhathali. Recently, someone was supposed to go to sign a contract. Imagine, I go to an interview. This is me I'm going to sign a contract. Oh no, I can't find my ID. And then he paid it up. You know, and I understand, but the fact that the person didn't fix his intozabo in time, do you understand? The level of professionalism, government, maybe it's what they need to be taught. When you're looking for a job, please answer your phone. Do you understand? Phone. When you look, be consistent. But with that being said, I also understand because they have us as parents sometimes. These children are despondent. These children, they're victims of circumstances. They grew up in a situation where umntana akasaboni anything better. We all looking for jobs. Umama, utata, umntwana, everyone apha endlini sonke sikhangela umsebenzi. they end up either going to drugs or doing that and that other thing. Umama akasebenzi, so what makes me think I'm gonna get a job if umama akadanga wafumana yena umsebenzi adabe ngaka. Umama sekencamile sekefuna umsebenzi ema-kitchen, akusekho nalowo wasema-kitchen. I feel like maybe they've given up. They just need to be revived. There needs to be programs that revive them. Also teach them that you shouldn't just look for a job. Sometimes as umsebenzi kokho ethu uzoyithola kanjani uhlele khoneni.
Yeah.
You need to look for things, not just a job. If you are thinking, mna, I can be good at customer service, go to all these call center places. Do not wait for someone to say, I have vacancy. You'd be fortunate enough. We were about to advertise, but since so lapa, do you understand?
Yeah.
Go knock on doors. We will knock for you, but not all everywhere. We can't knock for you everywhere. We will go look for things. My sister and I, sahamba sayolwa pha sathi sicela abazusebenza unless bafaka abantu basePolar Park. No, they literally 2-man drive. They had to stop production because we're like, no, nisebenza apha phambi kwethu. Asizuniyeka nisebenze ningabafaka ngabantu balapha. And then they had no choice but to babafake. But now the very same people esambe sayobathethelela abeze emsebenzini.
That's the
Do you
thing.
see? And those were
Yeah.
not, that was not a youth. I'm not going to lie and say this was people mostly my age and older. Do you understand?
Yeah,
Because now
yeah.
always feeling ati abantu abadala balityelwe, not abadala
Bavalelwe
kakhulu.
ngaphandle. True,
Yes,
true.
people was 36 to 59, and as noba kuthiwa mabafe na bangabe bengasebenzi bona, because imisebenzi ithi oh siqasha i-youth. Government uthi sinika abantu abadala inkamnkam, thina what do we get? 370 rands, uyaybo?
Yeah.
Which is ndinabantwana that I need to raise. So imisebenzi xa ivela, sometimes we try to xa ingekho specific, that's the demographic we look into. But with that being said, nayo andiyazi iske ithini bavele bangayi emsebenzini, bavele bathi xa bedibene Friday kwaselwa siqhathane phaa etywaleni sivuke singayi emsebenzini. But also, that's also being victims of circumstances. Kudala uhleli mani ungasebenzi, so demoralized. I think something needs to be woken up in us to say we need to have a vision, a goal, and I don't know how to put it.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I wonder. I wonder. Sisivuya, I think I've actually asked you yonke into bendiyicinga. Especially interest yam was knowing ukuba from being a public servant ye community engekho politics kuye kwenzeka ntoni for you to actually join the politics. So far I've from my side I think I'm clear uba ngaba
you.
kwenzeka ntoni. And I applaud into yokuba ngaba you know what you are doing. Yeah, that's all I want to say for now. Guti, you know what you are doing, and as much as you actually know what you are doing, I don't want us ukuba ngaba kube sizoba nale date kuphela. I want us ukuba ngaba sibe namanye ama dates that are going to actually come forward. Be it it's going to be you guys abazosibuza ama questions or abazombuza ama questions. Obviously njengoba nizobe nibukele this episode, she's going to respond to my questions now. I know ke akayithandi kangaka social media, so busy studio ndimfundele wonke ama questions, and then we are actually going to tackle them one by one.